are reporting live from Soho, New York, and we are back.
Welcome back to another episode of
Welcome back, Moti.
Thank you so much for having me back for the 8th week in a row.
Of course, I couldn't do it without you.
You really couldn't.
I know. How was your week?
My week was very disappointing, but very great and very disappointing all at the same time.
Why was it disappointing?
Well, just to, since we were talking about it last week, our girl Noah Curel came in third place. She came in third place.
Eurovision is over.
You know what? But it really isn't.
Can you please stop?
It really isn't. We all knew that Loreen was going to win from day one since she won.
No one knew because no one watches that show here in the United States.
You know what? There's 160 million people that watch it, and it's more than the Super Bowl.
In the world.
Last week, I said that it's like the
in
Super
the
Bowl.
United States, it's
Actually,
you and your friend Justin James. 2 people.
There's a couple more.
And he was there, so he didn't watch it.
He watched it live. Anyways,
You're sad, but I mean, she got number 3. That's a great accomplishment for such an unknown artist like her.
Yeah, well, I feel like she now has gained some sort of international presence.
She's like number 90 on iTunes.
I told you that. She's number 92 on iTunes. And
she's killing it.
You know
in
what?
The charts.
92 is pretty like, I know that's not, you are such an ass. You know what? I have so much.
Oh, this Topo Chico is really good.
It is really good. I told you the
Thank you
tangerine
for
flavor is
hooking
my
me up.
favorite. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Anyways, besides.
But it was crazy if you were following. So there is this guy from Finland that is like a joke.
It's not a joke.
His song is fun.
His song is fun. His performance was fun. But to be honest, like that's not a song that I'm going to go to the gym and listen to. It's not going to be a song that I'm going to listen to while I'm driving.
But it was
entertaining.
It was fun enough for. It was like Neta's song.
Neta's song was a little bit more, I felt like.
More structure, I felt.
Relevant.
It felt more like a pop song. This felt like a little bit of a mess.
But
it was a fan favorite, so you have to give it to him.
It's not relatable, I feel. The song's not relatable.
Well, first it's in Finnish. Which is hard to relate to, because how many people speak Finnish?
Rebecca Bloomwood obviously speaks Finnish.
Just, 100,000 people. So that was one. And second, Loreen shouldn't have participated because she already won Eurovision once.
Imagine sending Celine Dion again, and of course she's gonna win.
It's not fair.
It's gonna be humiliating and disappointing, and.
But even though Loreen, if we don't send Loreen, the guy from Finland will have won.
You know what? I don't think so, because the people that voted for Loreen, they would have voted for. I feel like a good portion of them would have voted for Noah.
Wow.
And I spoke to some people, including Justin. Justin voted for Loreen, obviously. He's like, yeah, I would have voted for Noah if Loreen wasn't in the competition. There's a lot of people like that would have voted for Noah for sure. And also there were times where Noah came in with 10 points and Sweden took 12 points. She would have gone more 12 points. Anyways,
I want to continue talking about this because number 4, my favorite, Marco, the Italian guy.
Oh, gosh.
He didn't win. But no one knows what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And we're losing listeners by the second. So let's just stop talking about Eurovision and move
you guys,
forward.
We decided that we're going to start structuring the beginning part of the of our episodes with MC's top 5, like our 5 stories that we're listening to and want to share with you guys.
You like branding everything.
Yeah, we like branding. I like structure.
I'm
That's
a free spirit, so that's why we bicker so much.
There's a difference between calling yourself a free spirit and a lazy spirit. You didn't want to structure it.
Spontaneity is not a synonym of laziness, and that's where you fail. You're like Monica, you want to control fun, and that's not how it happens.
I like how everything's like controlled, and I know when the fun's going to happen. Anyways, the second story of today, for today, is our Sports Illustrated 4 covers.
Wow, I feel like I had hope. I can make it there. If Martha Stewart is there and Kim Petras is there,
Christian,
why not Christian Bendeck for 2024? Anything could happen.
Let's start a petition.
So how do you feel about seeing Martha Stewart, which she's 80-something, 81, isn't she?
She's 81 years old, and she looks great for like an older
there's a lot
woman.
of airbrush there, but regardless, she's such an iconic person to be there. And I'm on a different age bracket, I feel like, it's good to see older people killing it and doing things like that.
I think it's so interesting seeing Martha Stewart thrive, because obviously she was a convict and she was in jail.
That doesn't mean anything.
I understand that, but the way that she spinned it and turned it around, and she's like one of the few celebrities that have really turned it around.
Yeah, she's a smart woman.
And made it for her. I think it's brilliant. And also I love her.
Yeah, she looks great.
Who
I
else
was
is
like,
on-
what? Like, I didn't think she was 81. Like, I never crossed my mind she was 81. I'm like, wow, she looks great for her 60.
Right.
And then I read she's 81, and I'm like, what the fuck?
The 4 covers are Martha Stewart, Megan Fox, Kim Petras, and Brooke Nader.
I don't know who Brooke Nader is.
Brooke Nader's like I feel like she's the only one that's a model of the 4.
She's pretty.
And she's pretty. And I think
She's hot.
Sports Illustrated is known for putting up these up and coming models and blowing up their careers. But I feel like all these 4 people already have a career.
But because this is the celebrity edition,
It's a celebrity. I know you
different from
mentioned
the
that,
rest.
But I remember when they posted Kate Upton, and then Kate Upton was on the cover of GQ. I only remember that because that's when I was working there, and that's when it was happening. And I feel like that opportunity to take someone out of like the forest and making them a huge star is taken away.
Yeah,
The novelty of that.
I think it still happens. Because the other months,
Yeah.
like regular models, so it's fine. They are not celebrities, so probably they offer that platform.
But isn't this
up and
the
coming
issue
artists.
of the year?
I don't know. It's the same. No, it's the same edition, but 4 different covers.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, you get it.
Right.
And now, what do you think about Kim Petras representing the trans community?
I think that's so amazing. Like
I fucking love her. So
we love her. Yeah, we love Kim Petras. We've been fans of hers since she was.
Since he was singing the Hampton song.
Yeah.
That
Give me summer in the Hamptons.
fucking love that song till today. So good to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, how beauty have changed, and how like the people being on the cover of magazines right now are not. You could be in
Yeah.
the cover of a magazine
I
now,
know.
Moti.
Sports Illustrated. I better
we have
be on
Kim
the cover.
Petras,
Yeah.
Martha Stewart, Moti. You have no chance.
I feel like, if there was a 5th cover, I would have been the 5th cover, but they missed their opportunity.
Yeah, because you need to hit the gym a little harder.
Oh my God, how dare you?
Actually, this is a body positivity space, so you look great, Moti.
Thank you.
A little toothpick. But yeah, like back to it again. Like it's refreshing, and like if it is done tastefully, and if it is done like looks like. But Megan Fox. Did you see the interview she gave?
I didn't see the interview.
She sounds cool.
Really? Well, she's going through it.
She's like, oh, but people go for me because of my looks, but I want them to see my rainbow aura, because that's. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I didn't read it, but honestly, she is so gorgeous.
I mean,
she's like I think out of the 4, like she looks
she's
stunning.
She's the most pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the prettiest one. They are all pretty.
They're all pretty, but yeah,
You're
I'm just saying,
pretty too, Moti.
Megan Fox, I feel like has gotten that. She's always had that reputation to be the hottest girl ever, and even when I was in high school and when I was like,
I know.
quote unquote straight, she was the hottest girl until today. She's like still the hottest girl. So I feel like that is pretty impressive that she's holding that title.
Yeah, but she's losing her mind. I can't tell. Now,
She's going through it.
moving. She broke up with the guy, right?
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly. Anyways, moving on to our third headline that Christian sent over earlier.
Wait, well.
The self-checkout machines are asking people to tip now.
I think they're getting out of control, because if it is a self-checkout machine, are you tipping the people working in the store? Who are you tipping there? I don't know.
Christian comes from a country that
A non-tipping country?
a non-tipping country. So like I remember when you came here.
Yeah.
I remember when you came here, you would always ask me like, oh, like how much do I tip? How much do I tip? Because you were learning that New York City is a tipping. Well, now it's like
You fart on the street, you have to tip the person that smelled it. So.
exactly, literally, that's exactly it. I remember. I guess we should.
Yes.
Should we bring up the
Wow.
haircut guy?
Oh, yeah, I got into a little bit of a fight with my hairdresser because I was running short with cash, and sometimes, you have to pull cash all the time.
And he only accepts cash. He doesn't take Venmo and he doesn't take credit
which
card.
is an inconvenience
Yeah, if you
sometimes.
wanted to,
And
like,
if you
we
need to leave
options.
$3.50 on the ATM machine every time, it piles up, because I go to him twice a month, and I don't know, I just was short that month.
Right.
That just one time I was short, and he said, no, you've been short a couple of times. Well, it's been
He sent
difficult
him a
times.
text message, yeah.
The brand that hired me to post, I don't ask them for a tip. I just started. I'm gonna up my.
I'm gonna start asking for 20% tip on my rates.
My rates, because this tipping situation is getting a little bit.
And don't get me wrong, I think like wait staff, they earn their tip for sure, because I feel like there's a lot of
Yeah, but this is self-checkout machines at the airport that no one is overlooking.
Oh,
you're not supposed to tip them.
100%. I would never.
So I encourage not tipping on that machine.
I would ask them actually to send me 20 cents back.
Am I wrong? Am I sounding cheap?
No, I think you're in the sense of
We're pretty generous on restaurants. 20%, sometimes 25%. Like
Right.
we don't care. And but when it comes to this situation, sometimes I'm like, doesn't make sense.
I think it
But
is.
I guess it's the economy. Everybody's suffering,
Right.
including myself. I could only buy so little on the Versace private sale last night.
You spent dollars at the Versace.
Can you
sample
shut
sale.
up? Can you believe this, Victor? We don't want it to hear. I couldn't buy enough,
Yeah.
to be honest. Because this is when I like gear up my whole year, and it was tough.
You
You
have-
see, I sound like an idiot. Then people come for me because I sound pretentious and stupid. Okay, moving on to the next subject, which is something very passionate about. Kylie Minogue is dropping a single
She is.
in 2 days. Padam Padam, or whatever you pronounce it. And I don't want to talk about the single per se, but she is having a concert in June 17 in Long Island
Yeah.
with Deborah Cox and
It's the K2U Euphoria or whatever it is.
I've
that
never
concert.
been, and so a friend of mine, we were discussing about the Kylie Minogue single, and he said, "Oh my gosh, she's going to Long Island. You have to go see it."
Yeah.
And I mean, if Moti is back from Israel,
I'm going to be back. I'm back the 12th or the 13th. So we'll be able to go the
I want to go
17th.
see her. Even if she sings for 40 minutes, I think it's worth it.
And I also love Deborah Cox.
Well, we live in Brooklyn. It's like literally 10 minutes away from our house.
It's not that, it's far. It's an hour and like 15 minutes away.
But yeah, Kylie has a new single, Padam Padam, out on Thursday. This episode will be out on Thursday, so
Yeah.
make sure to tune in also. Right after you play this episode, play the new Kylie song. And see
such a
you at the
huge
concert. Me,
Kylie
this is a
fan.
free advertising. I should be getting free tickets.
Yeah, you should.
Did you work your magic there?
I feel like people.
Do you know someone that knows someone that works at KWT or
Honestly,
whatever the name is?
KTU.
I don't
I used
know.
to
Wow.
listen to it when I was like in high school. Like it was a radio station.
We do a whole coverage there. I'll buy the ticket. I can.
Tickets are pretty cheap. I actually saw them last night. They weren't that bad. And actually, the whole entire stadium is still on sale. They
I
might,
don't know if they're gonna fill it up.
I don't know if they're going to fill it up, but yeah, they're going to have to do some.
I hope they don't cancel it because
They haven't marketed it well yet because I didn't
no
even
one
know
knew
about
about
it.
it.
Yeah, no one knew
But
about it.
now everybody knows about it in
Yeah.
New York City.
Now every person, the whole entire world knows about it. They're going to be flying
the
from
100
international
million
flights.
listeners that we have are gonna buy those tickets.
Exactly.
All right, moving forward.
What is our next? Oh, the Veuve Clicquot polo match is back.
Very important.
When is it?
It's June 3rd.
The Veuve Clicquot polo match is back June 3rd.
For the first time after the pandemic.
Is it the first time since the pandemic?
Yes, because it happened
Wow.
in LA, but it hasn't happened in New York City.
Wow, it's back.
And
it is-
many outfits need to be scouted. I don't know what to wear for that thing.
Sadly, I won't be here because I'll be in Tel Aviv, but
Oh, good for me.
good for you.
I can do whatever I want.
Every time I go there, I have the best time.
I
So you're going to
know.
have the best time.
It's so exciting. Yeah, and like all the friends are there. Some celebrities are there.
And tickets will be on, I think tickets are sale. Like you could buy tickets to go.
You can buy tickets to go. Is the VIP area also?
I don't think the VIP area is for sale, but like there's like the pink garden, the yellow garden, or like there's different gardens
I
that
know.
you
We
can
love
buy
the
tickets
garden.
to.
We love Veuve.
We do love Viv.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited. It's because I only won one since I moved to New York. Then COVID happened and ruined my life here in New York City. So this is my second polo match, and I'm really looking forward to go. I know some of my friends are going.
What are
It's
you
so
gonna
much
wear?
fun. I'll be reporting live. I'll be making stories till I get drunk. Once I get drunk, I don't make any more stories. So
What's the mood board? What's the
I mean, for the first time, I think instead of going fashion forward, I want to try to go more like classic.
Yeah,
like a linen
dandy.
suit. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get like a nice linen suit from a brand that I have a good relationship with.
Yeah,
But I don't want to give too much away.
you want to keep them people on the
But-
edge of their seats.
You know, I'm usually wearing something trashy, so let me just put on like a nice linen suit
Yeah.
and maybe get a hat and try to look the part for the first time in my life. And like, you know.
It's very dandy fashion, very like bright suits.
Exactly. I'm going to wear a 3-piece suit, and then when it gets too hot, I just wear the best under.
Right.
Let the guns out once I'm
The
drunk.
guns
and then
out.
that should be a fun experience. Hope to see you guys there. I'm ready for selfies. no one will take a selfie with me.
Okay. Anyways, let's I guess jump into today's topic because we could talk about the Veuve
Moti
Clicquot
is
pole match.
so excited to
I'm
talk
so
about this.
excited.
He
I mean-
begged me, when can we talk about
No,
this? And I'm like, are you ready
Not
for
at
this?
all. Not at all. We've been. This is actually a topic that people have reached out to us about, and we said we were going to talk about it, but we kept pushing it.
Because Moti, you, the good subject, you said, let's leave it for last. Let's leave
I
it
like
for last.
leaving it for like a season finale.
But this is not a season finale subject. We're gonna finally talk
well,
about.
hold on. Before we bring this, we're gonna be talking about open relationships, yes. But before
I didn't say anything. You just gave it away.
right. But before I do that, I want people to know that, whether you are for open relationships, like respect to you. If you're against it, respect to you. If you have it, good for you. If you don't, good for you.
Good for you.
But this is more so of just like our experience and what we think, and also just having the conversation, because I feel like people,
We have opinions on it.
yeah, we have opinions on it. And also, I will start by saying the older I get, the more
Comfortable you are with the idea?
I accept it and understand it. The more I understand it, actually.
Well, you're talking to a Latino that is like crazy jealous.
Right.
So for me, the idea of an open relationship at the beginning of time, basically, it was a no-no. And I used to judge people over it.
I used to judge people too about it.
like, break up. You don't have to.
I used to be like, when I was young, when I was
lying
like,
to each other.
when I was like 23, 24 years old, I would think to myself, oh my God, they're in a relationship. Like, what does that mean? Like, that is like so
They
gross,
don't
so
love
terrible.
each other.
I don't get it. Like, oh my God, I don't.
Hypocrites.
Like, yeah, like I'm like, oh, I don't believe that. Like, I can't believe what they're doing.
But-
But now I feel like now that I'm in a relationship for 7 years,
But is it a we're maturing and we're seeing life different, or is it it's becoming more mainstream and people is talking about everything
Yeah.
now. Nothing is taboo anymore. So I feel like this is a subject that maybe a couple of years ago
people
was,
would be scared to talk about.
yeah, but right now we're
Or
talking about
embarrassed. Yeah.
everything, and you can't be judged by anything anymore. Only God can judge us. So I feel like that's why now it's out in the open and no one really like cares about it, or is it because I'm old now and I like I've been through it, so like I don't really think.
Okay.
I actually think it's a positive situation in a relationship, but let's just start. What is an open relationship,
Yeah,
Moti?
let's define what an open relationship is, because
With your
honestly,
own words, because we're not a dictionary. So what do you think is an open
a
relationship?
lot of people have different definitions to it, and a lot of people have different rules to it. So it really just depends on what you feel comfortable with, depending on the agreement between both parties.
Okay, but how would you
I
define
would
an
describe
open
a relationship as a couple being okay with one another doing.
Experimenting sexually with other partners.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Actually,
And they keep their
like together,
emotional
not together,
connection.
like alone. I would say
on
that.
their own.
Yeah,
Because if we do it together, then that's another category. That's like a threesome.
right. Exactly.
Don't you think an open relationship also like it's the umbrella for the group sex or for like the threesome or for like I don't know,
I feel like it
or it stands on its own?
I feel like in a relationship, people would have a threesome first before opening the relationship.
Yeah,
I
well,
think.
those are baby steps.
Yeah, those are the baby steps, I feel. And
And if you see if it works and no one gets really mad about
nobody
it the
gets
next
really
day.
mad about it. Yeah. I also like, I don't know what the rules are, but if I was in a new relationship, I probably wouldn't. We didn't like talk about this until like we were in the 4th year of our relationship.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I do feel like when is it okay to do it? There's not a time frame.
There's no
It's
time
just
frame.
whenever it feels right. It's whenever you got bored of like having sex with your partner, basically. That when like
And that happens.
maybe
And that
it hasn't
happens.
happened in 2 months. Should we open the relationship?
And that happens, and that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, no judgment. And here's what I think: is this a gays only situation? Is
No,
this it's a
absolutely
queer
not.
thing? Is it a straight people
It's
thing?
more popular in the queer space, but that's because I think,
We have loose morals.
yeah, no, yes, but also people just, I think, are more comfortable with of like these transactions. Like it's just like sex. I feel like with women and men, I feel like, I guess, I don't
They
know.
prefer
actually.
to cheat behind
No,
closed doors.
I feel like there's like emotion always attached. I feel like it's harder to detach.
Yeah, well, I think women emotionally are a little more
Emotional.
well, it's harder for them. I know, I understand. I know
But I will say there is a couple.
there are swingers
Yeah, there are
out there.
swingers.
They have those things.
I know a girl, I'm not going to say her name. She's actually a very big influencer. And she and her husband were talking about being in an open relationship, and she wanted it so bad. And she's like, I just need it. I'm like, she told me like she was bored.
Who?
Not telling you. She was bored with
Do I
having-
know her?
Yeah, you did. You met her. She was
Do I
bored-
like her? Because I think I would like her.
You don't like anyone of my friends. So
That is
like,
true.
you probably don't like her.
That is not.
She was saying like how she was A, bored, and B, she wasn't having sex enough with her husband, so she wanted to be in an open relationship, and she brought it up to him.
And
And I mean, I don't think it ended up happening because
it didn't sit well on him.
no, I don't think it ended up happening because
Here's how I see it. If you're in a straight relationship, if the guy asks the woman is gonna go crazy because like, oh, you don't love me, blah blah blah. And then if the girl asks the guy, either it's like jackpot for the guy because like we can do whatever we want.
Right.
This is not technically cheating because you're asking permission.
you're
to
asking
do it.
permission, but also you have to be on a different level of a
Trust.
and like security between yourselves. Like you need to feel
You have to have that emotional connection with that person. There has to be love. I feel
Secure,
like
yeah.
I don't think you should jump into an open relationship when you're like in the rocks in the relationship.
No,
That's
obviously
like
not.
a recipe for a disaster. That's like you
Obvi-
will be ending your relationship for sure. But if you have trust, even saying the word love in the relationship and then understanding and like partnership and like companionship and so many other things, I feel like yes, opening the relationship could be positive for
and healthy.
yeah, for a relationship
for
that,
sure.
that has a good base. But and now we're gonna talk about it. But how an open relationship works?
Like, do people?
Is it an understanding? Is it a conversation that you?
I think it's a conversation to have, but also like, is it the couple? Do they want to know about each other's experiences? You know, like, do they want like, are they going to tell each other?
Well,
or is
those
it a don't do
So
whatever
there
you
should
want,
be-
don't tell?
So there should be certain rules that need to be defined from the beginning, and those rules might change through the year or through the months. Because sometimes
a learning
you might think that
experience.
something is
Yeah.
common sense, but someone might have go ahead and do something that was not in the books. And you're like, wow, well, this was common sense, but here you go. So now we need to put it on the rule book that you can do this. So
It's a learning experience.
exactly. So as long as you understand, I have heard that if you are not a psycho and like you're exploring and you're both learning, that it should be okay to make a couple of mistakes as long as those mistakes are not like crazy mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So, you can forgive and forget and like move on and like for next time you can do this.
Right. Don't look at me like
Then
that.
you are on the book. Like, well, this is not allowed anymore. But it is important to define like, okay, I don't know, top of my head, you can't happen home, or you can't repeat the person, or you can get emotionally attached to this person, or it only has to be a stranger, or when we're traveling, or
There's so many. Yeah.
no friends,
Yeah.
no
Or-
ex-boyfriends, or like there has to be a set of rules.
You need a set of rules. Like, are you able to do this? Is it the same city? Is it friend group? Do we know them? Or like there's a lot of rules and you got to set them ahead of time.
But rules are
Rules are meant to be
broken.
okay.
It's fine.
Like
Our
the-
rules can be changed. We
Like
can
the
update
late,
the rules through
like
the
the
years.
late Coco Chanel said, if you need to know the rules in order to break them.
Right, exactly. So the rule, yeah.
I think she
knew
said
the
that.
rules, but the rules didn't know me.
I think she said that, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
You
just
need to know the
followed it.
rules in order to break them. Someone said that. I think it was Chanel.
But it is very important, the rule situation. I can tell you right here, right now.
Yeah.
That
From
you have
personal
you have to
experience,
set it
Christian.
because what probably trigger a couple to do it, it's maybe a healthy curiosity to explore other sexual experiences with other people, which I think is like monogamy is not. It's not a sustainable idea.
Right. The older I get, the more I see that point. But it's different. Like, what if like I just feel like if I had
What would you say to someone that I've been monogamous with my partner my whole life and I think you are sick talking about open relationships?
I mean, that's okay.
You're sick, Moti.
That's okay because that's their. If it doesn't work for them, then it doesn't work for them. Like, okay, cool. Like, I respect that. If you think that it's sick and
But
you
they don't respect you.
that's okay. They don't have to respect me. I don't care.
Okay.
A lot of people don't respect me. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, I know that.
Christian, so you've been in a couple of relationships. Have you ever been in an open relationship?
No, never. And I think back in the day, like it never crossed my mind because I think I was very young, very naive. And like, well, you saw me on the last episode, me going crazy on the cheating situation. That
With
was
jealousy,
like,
yeah.
that was not a good thing. But by the way, I got a lot of people.
I think Christian
I got a
wants
lot
to
of
clarify.
backlash from it. Clearly, it was like
A joke.
sarcastic. It was
Yeah.
like an exaggeration. I'm not encouraging anyone to do it. I'm just talking about how hurt I was in the past from experiences that happened to me. So I kept telling to myself, you know what? If if it like a situation presents, I might be open to do it because I was hurt at the time, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, I should have cheated on with this guy when I had the chance, and I was sitting home waiting for you, and you were cheating on me. So it was. But also, I just want to make sure that, you know, that character Daphne from White Lotus,
Yeah.
that everybody was applauding at the end of the season,
Right.
she was doing exactly the same. She was cheating on the husband. They were both cheating on each other because she knew he was cheating on her. So she decided to cheat. And I saw everybody posting about her and like glorifying her. She was doing the same thing. I just said it raw
Right.
in your face, and people came for me like so badly. But then I got a lot of like people saying, I'm gonna start doing that, or I've been doing this. Mostly guys, I have to say. So, yes, that's a little like, how do you call it? The clarification that I wanted to make.
Right. A little clarification.
But with the open relationship, it's a learning curve for sure, and I do feel like sometimes it starts once that flame, that passion in the relationship starts fading away.
How dare you?
And you want to start?
No, go on.
We can talk about our own experiences if you want. So when that flame starts to go away,
Not diminish, but like, you know,
is it better to open the relationship than to cheat? Well, what is your take on this?
I think it's better to be in an open relationship than cheat, because at least that person knows about it, and like they're both allowed to do it, and it won't be as hurtful. That's what my opinion is.
Okay, that I agree with you.
Yeah.
With that, but
it has to, if they are going to be hurt from it, then an open relationship isn't suitable for them. So it's something that really depends on the couple.
Well, I'm a vengeful person. So, like, if you're doing it to me, I'll do it to you.
Right.
That was clear from the last episode. So, I think, like, it works for me, but I feel like it's still, like, it is hard to navigate. I don't know if I still know how to navigate this situation. Like, maybe I need a couple of more years to understand how this works.
Yeah, me too. I'm still learning about it too.
But technically, or what I think about it is like when a couple like decides to, like, the flame is no longer there in bed, but the love is still there, then
Yeah.
maybe try to explore it, right?
And it's normal. I've spoken to like
And then you're gonna get old enough that no one wants to fuck you, then you close your relationship again, and you only have that person with you, right?
You're so crazy.
So it happens. So it is good. Enjoy your bodies while you're young, kids, because once you're old, no one will fuck you.
That's
And not even your partner. You're gonna have to sleep and smell your fat. So enjoy your days. That's my advice, my humble advice. In my, I don't know. I need to come out. The next time I'm gonna talk about my real age, because I always want to say my age, but I always stop myself from saying it.
You should tell them.
What is it on the list? That things that we were gonna talk about. I don't want to like lose the train of thought. I made a very specific list.
Well, we went through all of them, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke about why couples usually open the relationship, when it is appropriate.
Okay, what are the positive things of opening a relationship in your thoughts? Name me 3.
I think if you're able to separate the emotion and the action, I think it would
It's sexually fulfilling.
it will be sexually satisfying. That's missing thing. And then also you won't be sexually frustrated. You won't be upset.
But
or-
that goes back to the first one.
yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, sure. But I think that's a huge positive. Like I feel like then
Do you think then a couple will stay together longer if that missing part is gone? Because I feel like, again, the cheating part is the main reason some couples split up.
right.
So would you think opening a relationship will make a couple stay together for longer time?
I think so, yeah. That's what I mean.
So
Like
that's
I
a
said,
positive from it.
why do people cheat? Because they are missing that satisfaction in bed.
Well, but what about some guys that
Are
can be
sick.
monogamous and they are obsessed with sex and they want to have sex with
Right.
as many people?
Right. So well then they shouldn't be in a relationship.
Right, but what if you want to have your girl home?
Right.
Well, you don't want to have to your boy home and, like, come back to like a warm bed.
Like
right?
come back home to a nice cooked meal.
Exactly. Not my case, because you don't know how to cook.
How dare you? I cook for you.
So that's the positive. The positive sexual satisfaction, exploring.
Yeah.
And this in this.
And also a huge positive is if you get to a point where you guys are open and okay with it, you guys have reached this next level of trust and next level of, understanding
and love for each other.
And don't get me
I'm
wrong.
letting you do things that
I know a couple that have broken up because they were in a relationship, and one has been like, was getting feelings for someone else, and like it led to something, and that, that can happen. But I think they were also like on the rocks as well. So actually there's a lot of different things happening there. But I think if you do open the relationship, like you obviously reach this next level of trust between you guys and secure. And you're secure with yourself and secure with the relationship. So I feel like that's kind of really important to highlight.
Are you allowed to have fun together?
Absolutely.
So it's you do your thing, I do my thing, but we can do our thing together too.
Of course.
If we present, it's like, yeah, I feel like it's a fun thing all around. As long as you're like, being careful with this.
Yeah.
Taking your contraception.
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely
safe sex all the time.
have safe sex.
We are not promoting a promiscuous life here without protection. Take your PrEP if you're a guy. Use contraception if you don't want to get pregnant if you're a girl.
Right.
Like there's a lot of things that are important to point out because it's sounding right now like we're just sexual deviants and we're encouraging.
If you have multiple partners, obviously there's a lot more risk, and you need.
It is not only HIV, which perhaps keeps you from getting it. It's a lot of real. Like you name them, you can get it from just being promiscuous. So
being promiscuous. You mean being a slut?
That's what you call me all the time.
Yeah.
So what is the negative from opening a relationship? Is there a negative from it? I don't see a negative right now.
The only negative part of it is that if
how people will judge you.
I mean,
is the society ready for this?
That is a huge negative. I feel like people that are gonna judge you, like you're gonna think of that, like, oh my God, I'm being
get
judged
a thick skin, because sometimes you might be your boyfriend might be getting text message. Oh, I saw your boyfriend doing this. Or I saw your girlfriend doing this. Then they don't know you're in an open relationship, and then sometimes you feel like that might be, a negative thing.
Right.
Your reputation.
I guess people like judging you and getting that. I don't really care about what people like. I feel like growing up, like when I was, I don't even care about that. Like I don't even care if someone like says something like,
you don't love me anymore.
I used to feel that when I was like in high school or like even in college. I felt like I was so worried about what people thought.
Well, first you were gay in the closet, so that was your biggest concern.
Right, that was my biggest concern. And then now it's just like I don't really care what people think. Like if I'm a good person, I can do whatever. Like I'm a good person, and that's it. Like I'm not like I don't think people should be worried about.
Again, with age comes more understanding,
right?
And you
it's
give
so
less fucks.
True.
You give less
so
fucks
true.
about everything.
If you're young here listening,
well, till you're my age,
before you're judging us, just know you're gonna be here eventually. Yeah. Your mind space will get here eventually.
There's a lot. Well, depending on the clips we're gonna release from this, we're gonna have to be careful because I don't want people to come in from me. But I learned my lesson last weekend. What other negative come from this? Because this is a scary part that we should like keep in mind because it has happened to friends. It's like, someone catch feelings with someone else because it's not only sex, it's also attention. It's like because sometimes,
but you know what, that's that person's fault because they put themselves in that position. So like if you're
you're very quick to like just
because that person put themselves in that position. So that means they took down their, like, it's one thing like
one thing to fuck someone and another thing like getting cuddles and like
exactly.
getting the good morning message and like that romanticism that was at the beginning of a relationship. We're not looking for that. We're just looking for like
there's one thing that like you could either like meet someone out at a club, hook up with them, and then just finish it off, like finish that night, and it's another is taking down their number. Can you stop cutting me off? I'm gonna literally slap you. Or meeting someone and then taking down their number and starting a relationship with them and texting them.
It is not for texting the next day, how are you, my love, blah, blah, blah. It's more like, do you want to do it again in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, but
that's why you might be taking that number.
I just feel that is a recipe for disaster. Like if I was
if you know how to handle yourself,
I don't think in that position, I wouldn't do that.
Wow, I don't think you're ready to open the relationship with me, Moti. You're a little bit of a psycho.
I'm not psycho. I just think like that for me, I wouldn't do that. Because what if I like start catching feelings? Like I would make sure not to be in that position. I'd avoid it so I'm not in that position.
I mean, if you catch feelings, it's like it means like basically you want to end your life.
Because you're gonna kill me.
Basically, and then mine, and I'm jumping off the window with Facebook.
Right.
So.
Got
you
it.
better not catch
I'm
feelings.
glad that we have this.
Because
We
it's
have this
gonna
on
be a tragedy.
because it'd be scary if that does happen.
Okay. So that's a negative. Someone catching feelings and then ending the relationship. Something negative, you might get an STD. Something negative, you're judging. You're being
Society
judged by
judges you.
society. What else is negative here?
There's a lot of negatives over the positive.
Yeah, but this is basically what I would consider for me. I'm talking. This is my opinion. In every, no, I'm not speaking for anyone
This is my
else's.
opinion as well.
So
We're on the same page, me and Christian.
so should we talk about it? Should we set some ground rules?
No.
I'll write those rules because you seem like you don't have a good sense,
Like Coco Chanel said,
like common sense about like what to do and what not to do.
rules are meant to
Also,
be
you're
broken.
very inexperienced. This is your first relationship.
Right. That's another reason why I completely understand being in a relationship.
So, what would you advise for a couple that is actually struggling with this idea and they have talked about it, but they are not willing to take the leap and like,
I mean,
you know,
if they're in a relationship for a while and together for a long time, I would say I'm sure they're doing like threesomes at this point. But if they're not, I would start with that and see what the interaction is. Like,
but
if
sometimes
they're-
it's nerve-wracking to jump into a threesome.
yeah, honestly, I think threesomes are really terrible because there's always that one person that feels left out, no matter what. Like, without a doubt.
Have you felt like that?
No, I actually haven't. But like, I feel like people do feel that like it's different whenever there's like a 2-2, like a
I have.
couple. Yeah, I know you have. But that's exactly my point. Like, I feel like that's maybe threesome's a terrible idea, but I don't know. I feel they need to figure out their parameters. I don't know.
So, would you say baby steps, do a threesome, see how it goes?
Yeah.
Maybe group sex, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Or try to do things together in public that feels like you are in an open relationship. I don't know, like experiment more things.
Experiment more, or like role playing. I don't know. Like, I feel like there's different ways to reignite that light, but I don't think people should. We shouldn't. I'm not dictating someone else's.
I know, but would you advise also, which I think that I would recommend not to do, is like if you are in an open relationship and you have your sexual escapade, like unless you're both very open and like okay with sharing what happened the night before, I think it's best to not say anything.
It's more of like a don't do whatever, and don't talk about it.
Well, that's how I see it, because I know myself that even if I'm okay with an open relationship, I do not like hearing details about what happened.
Yeah.
That's me because I'm a jealous fuck.
Yeah.
You know it very well. So I'm like even no.
Right. I understand that. I get
But
that.
this is just me. If one of you is very jealous, like do not come home expecting to hear what happened.
Yeah.
I would recommend that should be one of the rules. No one needs to know.
I met a couple that actually they have to tell each other every time they do something, and I'm like, that is literally a
What would you
recipe
prefer,
for
Moti?
fight. I would prefer not to know.
Okay.
I'd be like,
Would you want me not to ask you about it either?
I mean, in the end of the day, like I feel like
Because I'm pretty sure that you want to tell me all what that you did.
no, I don't want to tell you all the millions and millions of things that I've done this just past 24 hours.
That's why I make your life miserable every day.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
paying for it.
I think people, no.
Okay, so if you're gonna do it, talk about it, set the rules because that's very important. And like if you don't feel comfortable with it, then you close the relationship again.
Right.
But make sure you're in a place in your
Oh, we had
relationship
another, we had another friend that like they've opened the relationship and then they closed it because it was like not working.
it was messy.
Because they were bumping into people on the street saying like, oh, like,
I fuck your
oh, hey,
boyfriend.
hey, oh, hey, nice to see you. And then like they bumped each other and then like they'd walk. He's like, oh, how do you know him? And he was like, oh, well, we hooked up. And I was like, and he was like, you know what, forget it. This isn't working out. And he's like, we're closing the relationship. But they broke up.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's not an easy way to do it.
Right.
Unless you both are very open to
Yeah.
it, right?
You need to be secure. There needs to have trust, and you just need to be not very jealous.
And it's not easy. It's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
It takes time to probably to get where you want to be comfortable with your partner, and especially like, I mean, we're comfortable talking about this subject because I feel like we have 8 years that we know each other, 7 years in a relationship, and like, I mean, like, I don't hide anything from you.
Right. I don't hide anything from you either.
And whatever you hide from me, I end up finding out
Oh, me too.
all the time.
I'm
So,
good at finding out.
You know,
things.
we're good.
Christian went through my phone once. He said he never found anything.
I didn't go through your phone. I went through your computer by mistake, and you know, I didn't went through your phone. first.
Oh, you went through my phone.
Your
You
computer,
made
and
me-
I just saw like the first like
messages.
from the, and I'm like, well, there's nothing really here. There was not a name that I recognized. And like, you know what? If you look, you find, and I don't want to find. And
If you look,
thank
you won't
God
find.
your friends are the only ones like spilling the beans, so I don't even have to go through your phone. They open up, and I tell them everything I do. Actually, your friends are my confidence, so they will tell you what I do.
Okay,
You know, if we have a buffer in between, I think that will make things easier. But that will be our advice.
Yeah.
If you were planning on opening up the relationship. Now, to close
our episode,
do you have a final conclusion and statement that you want to say before
we really said it all, honestly.
good.
And I feel like if anyone has any questions, we can follow up with it on a future episode. But I feel
DM
like
me.
we did a good job at talking about
we
it.
navigated this very well.
Yeah.
And I think this was a very constructive episode. Like, I don't know,
I
constructive,
think if couples
informative.
hear it, they'll A, appreciate it, or B, think we're psycho. But whatever.
We're not psycho. We're pretty normal.
We did ask you guys at home if we were gonna do a what would you rather.
But that's I'm boring now.
I actually got some really good ones, but since we're doing this topic, we changed our topics last minute. We decided that we're gonna actually talk about a draft. Like we saw this little TikTok trend that people were doing these drafts.
No, I suggested this.
Yeah.
Inspired by that Friends episode. You know,
it was the
when
Friends episode, right.
Ross and Monica's dad are in the Central Park, and then they are like, oh, we have a card that we write down the names of the 5 people that we are allowed to sleep with and no questions asked. So Jack and Jill is the name of the mom. They have these cards and they have the names of the people that it is okay to sleep with. So we decided, Moti and I, we're just going to name the 5 guys that we should be okay to sleep with and no questions asked.
I thought Jennifer Aniston, or no, who picked someone? Oh no, it was Courtney Cox. Monica chose Tom Selleck.
No, you're losing it.
What?
They have a relationship.
No, I remember there was a name that she's like, yeah, like
Okay, Moti.
if he will let me like hook up with someone, it will be this guy.
You don't know what episode you're talking about because you've probably never seen it. So we're gonna talk. Okay, these are the 5 guys that if I do something, you will say nothing.
Okay, wait. Do you do one?
Actually, I want you to record that if it happens.
Do we do 1 and 1?
Yeah, we should go for 1 and 1.
Okay.
So,
and if you say it, then I can't say it.
No, but well, no, then we have a threesome. So that works. So who's your first guy?
You know what? I feel like
I'm pretty sure they're all blonde guys and like model looking like. Because you like models, clearly.
I should have went with like someone more. You know what? I don't want to.
A girl's allowed to change her mind, so you can change your mind.
People's names that I know for a fact that I will never have a chance with, because I don't want to say names that there might be a slight chance that I might be able to.
Yeah, because you'll be naming a lot of influencers and models that you follow on Instagram.
Right. A, and then B, like, none of them are gay. None of these guys are gay, for all I know.
Well, you know,
because I feel like
the money,
if I chose if I chose gay guys, I feel like it would be
weird.
No, because
or open the doors.
Like I feel like I'll be in the same room as them eventually.
They are not listening to this podcast.
I know,
but a friend of a friend will listen to it and then will forward it to them and like, oh, he said that he wants to have fuchi time with you.
And you know what? I remember once. This is so crazy, but I remember when I tweeted this tweet once of Victoria Justice saying like, "Oh my God, I would love to meet you on Twitter." Like this is like when I was like a kid and / straight. And I said something like stupid, like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, I want to hang out with you," or something like that. And then like fast forward 5 years later, I got invited to. I went to the that Amphar gala, and as I was leaving, like she was going to the after party, and Zach Weiss was like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I got work tomorrow." Like I was working at GQ at the time, and he's like, "No, you let's go to the after party." And she was like, "No, come to the after party." And like I got to spend the whole night with her. Victoria Justice. So I got to spend the whole time.
I don't know who that is, but
she's like a young like Nickelodeon star, and I got to hang out the whole night with her. And I posted a photo with her saying like had the most beautiful date. And someone like first of all, there was a whole hashtag going around like
that you had a relationship with her.
Like people. No,
fashion editor of GQ dating Victoria Justice.
It wasn't that. It was like they called us Motoria. I'm not even kidding. It was a hashtag and everything, and I think it was a little odd. But
that's
anyways,
a bad hashtag.
I know. And anyways, I'm not even like really friends with her. Like I'm saying this because like we just hung out that one night. I do have her number, but at the time I was also like, I think I was like discovering myself. I did think she was really gorgeous. Anyways, this girl, this person on Twitter went on my old tweet and took our photo and took my tweet and said, sometimes you got to say things for it to happen. And I was so embarrassed because I was like, Oh my, this is so
Yeah,
embarrassing.
how do you say you need to
Manifest it.
manifesting?
It was so.
You
so
manifested
embarrassing.
me. Look where I am.
You know what? I really did though.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Good for you.
And you manifested this. Here you are in a podcast studio here in New York City
No, and
without a Speedo.
and talking without that accent. My number one, because you don't want to say it, Pedro Pascal.
Okay, you can have him.
And he lives in New York. So if you're listening, Pedro, I'm available and willing.
You can have him. My first is Captain America, Chris Evans. Well, former Captain America.
I'm not
I know, I'm
surprised.
going very but you know what? He's so handsome.
I'll go for that kid from Euphoria.
Oh, Jacob Elordi.
No, the weird one.
Oh.
Fess.
Oh,
Fess.
Angus Cloud.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go for Jacob Elordi.
No. You're dating him, basically.
You wish.
I'm blown now.
Oh, man. You know what? Let me put Jacob Elordi on here. Let me put that on the list. By the way, if this happens, Christian said I'm allowed to do whatever I want.
Okay. So don't call me crazy here, but I like Justin Trudeau, the president of Canada.
Oh, I think he's handsome.
I think a man with power is like,
Yeah.
it's like, I want to be the first lady.
Yeah. Well,
Or the first man.
the first.
How do you call
Or
it?
the first husband. Or the first man. Oh yeah, the first man. There's
From the three previous, down for a threesome with any of them?
out of the three.
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Pascal, Cloud. No. I think maybe Justin
Justin Trudeau, yeah, right?
so far.
Okay.
My third one is Ryan Gosling. I know, again, very basic, but you know what? Like,
We met him.
did we?
We met him at that Armani thing. I have a picture with him.
That was Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
Yeah, who's also on my list, but I didn't want to put him on my list because I didn't want to wreck his home because I love him and Blake Lively together.
You have experience wrecking homes, so I don't know what's keeping you
How
from doing this.
Dare you?
Okay. I will have to say, I don't think anyone knows him, but Marco Mengoni.
Okay.
Why not?
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy from Eurovision, the
Oh,
Italian guy.
no
I have
idea.
a thing for Italian, so
I have no
that
idea
should
what
be
that
fine.
is.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure. of course.
Threesome?
Yeah, sure. Totally, of course.
Oh.
A questa nottima.
He sings very nice. Who else? What's your number 5? This is it. Or this is your number 4.
I said Michael B. Jordan. I said Michael B. Jordan, but
Michael B. Jordan.
I also have it because his Calvin Klein ads were like, but also I'm giving a 6th one, Tom Hardy,
Oh,
and he like did
I requested threesome there.
because I feel like I have a chance with him because I feel like he did like gay porn once.
No, he was a struggling artist and he might, I don't know what he did, but
He did something.
He's bisexual. Who cares? No
yeah,
judgment.
no judgment at all. I don't care. Like I said that I have a chance.
Okay, and best for last.
Is
Now I'm obsessed with this guy named
Oh.
Tahar Rahim.
yeah.
He's from that movie, The Serpent.
No, he's from that show,
The Extrapolation.
Extrapolation.
And he's from The Serpent. I think
yeah.
I think he's Armenian,
The
but he was
Serpent,
raised
yeah.
in France.
Yeah, he was great in that
He's
show.
really short, but I think he's very good looking.
He
is very good looking.
He is very good looking. He is very good looking.
And
Did you ever watch The Serpent? You only watched like an episode, I think.
yeah, I saw the reels that you make with all the outfits
Yeah.
inspired by it.
I love that show. If anyone hasn't watched it, a great TV show. It's called The Serpent.
So-
It's based on a true story.
Well, here from the guys I name, I probably have a chance with one.
Pedro Pascal.
No, with 2 actually. So if something happens,
Oh.
I'm allowed. Good. I am not surprised with your list. And yes, you can have them all. You can have their cousins too. I don't care. They all look alike. But that's the beauty of an open relationship.
Right.
With celebrities.
Right.
Only. You're not allowed to touch anyone else.
Okay.
Only these 5 guys.
Deal.
Okay. So this has been all for
This
this
has been
week.
fun. But if you guys are still listening and we still have you here, be sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe, rate our podcast, do all that stuff. Also on Spotify and Apple Podcast, all of them. Rate them all.
And if you have any
5
questions,
stars.
and if you have any questions about the subject, make
Don't.
sure to just send them through the Bickering Podcast Instagram.
page.
And
Christian will
I am
reply.
behind them. I am the one answering that. So if you want to talk directly to me, I will be, giving you a little bit of an advice there
Yeah.
if you need it.
And
Not that I'm an expert,
you are.
but this is it. This was a great show.
This is a great show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.